we doing?
Skip, Bayless, how you doing, Skip?
You know, somewhere, Michael Jordan is laughing at you and laughing at LeBron James for that pathetic show last night.
Hold on, Skip.
Somewhere. And I can't wait to talk about it, so let's just do it.
Hold on, Skip. I just want to know one thing.
Yeah.
Why everybody doing it? Let me get beautiful.
Yeah.
Why? Hold on.
You can try as hard as you want.
Take your time.
It'll get you nowhere.
I just want to know why Michael gonna be upset.
He's
Because
not
he could
upset.
never shoot a three like that.
He's chuckling and probably laughing. Remember when he just bent over? That's what he's doing at
when
you.
he's looking at his computer.
Yeah.
How you doing? You good?
I'm really
We're good. We're okay. That was a little extra. Shannon, are you ready to start the show? Let's actually talk about what we saw from the Lakers last night, because they did jump out to a huge lead last night. Guys, they never look back. At halftime, LeBron and AD had a combined 40 points, and the Lakers had an 80-51 lead. LeBron would finish with 30 points, 10 assists, and 6 rebounds in just over 28 minutes of play. And LA now has a 3-1 series lead. So, Shannon, how impressive were LeBron and the Lakers last night?
It look like them old.
Yeah, are you laughing at him too?
No, look like them old Lakers before the break, huh?
Really?
The one that, did a number on the Clippers, did a number on the Bucks, was doing numbers on everybody before we got interrupted with COVID. Now, Bron found a cure. They done got out of that bubble to cure that thing up.
Oh, did
it's
he?
over.
LeBron cured COVID.
Died in the bubble.
Wow.
Died in the bubble.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Skip, this is what the Lakers are capable of. Now, we knew sooner or later, everybody else has been shooting the three really well in the bubble. When were the Lakers going to have their turn? When was KCP? What about Danny Green?
Thought you hated him.
Thought
You wanted to cut him.
All you try to do.
At times you wanted to cut KCP.
You know what you try to do?
No, I'm not trying to do
You look
anything.
for little opening.
I'm reminding you of your past stances.
No, you look for any opening. You try to sow dissension.
Danny Green, get him out of here.
No, I didn't say that. I said, Daddy, you need
Now
to make
get him in there, right?
Danny, you need to
Told
make those
you.
threes. I said,
Heaven, hell.
No. I said, Danny, you need to make your threes. He made a couple last night. KCP made a couple, put the ball on the floor. So now when they're making threes, okay, Biggs, what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna stay in the lane? And okay, we shoot wide open threes. You run out there, then LeBron come down here. Now, Skip Bayless says, I want to see him drive the basketball. He drives the basketball just like you asked.
Yeah.
The Portland Trailblazers are 8 seed. They're no good. He shoots the ball from 3. LeBron pull up. Well, he pulls up from Belgrade. Boom. Let that one go. He turned.
I have been to Belgrade.
I got to have a lot of teammates that would
I covered a high school football game there once upon a time.
Belgrade.
It was a hotbed of high school football stars.
Glade Central. Skip. So Skip but he had 8 turnovers. He said, you know what? I may not have communicated with him and AD. He said, how about this? I'm going to do something like this here tonight. So he had 2 turnovers. So he shoots 80% from the field. He shoots 4 or 5 from the three-point line. And I'm not talking about them little old corner threes. I'm talking about them old deep ones. One from Belgrade, one from Cape Canaveral, one from Fort Myers. Way down there like that. And
I'd be across the state, right?
Dude, steal the ball. Now, Skip, I told you. I said, if you steal the ball from LeBron James, if you intercept the pass, go ahead and pull it back out. Wait for your rest of your guys to get down to run your offense. Because if you try to get sneaky, it's not going to end well for you. Ask Andre Iguodala. It won't end well for you. So a young guy had to find out the hard way last night. He going to try to sneak one in there. Tried to sneak, apple juice to a hen party. LeBron politely threw him out on his head. Skip, this is what the Lakers are capable of. And Anthony Davis got it going last. Skip, AD he played less than 18 minutes and was plus 37?
Wow.
Is that good? When they play like this, nobody can beat them. No one. You got your work cut out for it. Now, I want to hear all those pundits. Now, you remember you quoted me for like last 2 weeks. Charles Barkley said, Greg Anthony, now GA, my guy, I know GA very well.
I know him very, very well. I did a lot of TV with Greg
What
Anthony.
are they saying? And the same thing I told you, Skip. I said,
Portland will win. Charles Barkley said Portland will sweep.
Yes. There is no disadvantage to saying that. Because if they win, see, I told you. But if they lose, where they're 8 seed, the Lakers should have swept them. You see, that's why you get to say these things. But LeBron James last night was one of those virtuosos. But I'm not surprised because I've seen this for the last 17 years, at least the last 15 when he's been in the playoffs.
That it? You got a cold?
That's bad. Yeah. Boy, you a bad boy.
Yeah.
You a bad boy.
I will give you this. Last night was a tour de force. I mean, sorry, check that. It was a tour de farce. I have never seen such pathetic front-running, chest-beating, showboating, credit-taking against such a sorry team as I saw from LeBron James and the Lakers last night. I was embarrassed for them as much as I was embarrassed for the Portland Trail Blazers. And by the way, I first guessed this. I didn't second guess. I'm not coming back in hindsight. I first guessed it. When all those experts, the Barkleys and the Greg Anthonys, were saying, Portland is going to win this series, what did I tell you? This should be an easy sweep. I told you cakewalk. I told you mismatch. I told you this would be the equivalent of a Disney World amusement park theme ride for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I was right about that. This should have been an easy sweep. But I'm going to remind everybody, speaking of the Goat Mask King, he deserved to be wearing a mask to cover his face during Game 1, at least at the end of it, because everybody remember, with 7 minutes left in Game 1 against these same Trailblazers, emphasis on the trail because all they ever do is trail in basketball games, LeBron James had the basketball in his hands, up 6 with 7 minutes left. And what happened, Mr. Sharpe, the rest of the way? He should have said, home, James, I got this, game over. And he got outscored down the stretch 19-6. Are you kidding me? He scored 2 more points the rest of the way, the last 7 minutes, the King did, the Goat Mask King, on a little, like, halfway lucky tip put back that accidentally went in. That's all he did. And with 4 minutes left in the game, when he had a chance to tie it and cancel 2 missed free throws by his partner, his co-star, his other GOAT, right? He's a GOAT to be.
Yeah.
LeBron James stepped to the free throw line and clanked or LeBricked both free throws with 4 minutes left. That was LeBron's closing effort against the Trail Blazers in Game 1. And they somehow lost Game 1, which is all-time pathetic, given the fact that Portland came to the bubble with a record of 29-37. Right now, Portland is in danger of leaving the bubble 37-42. They are still 5 games under 500 for the whole year, and you are wearing a goat mask for that against those guys? This is the worst defensive team in all of basketball. It was definitely the worst defensive team in the bubble. That's 22 teams.
But we knew that.
But they are pathetic, which is why I called it right out of the box. I said, no, this is a joke.
But
I told you it was a joke, and you're wearing a goat mask.
Hold on, just for a second. Just for a second. You also you said that Portland had firepower back in June. In July, when they was about to kick back up, when it became abundantly clear that they were about to kick back up, you said with the return of Nurkic, with Melo playing, and Dame, they had the firepower to beat the Lakers. This is the matchup you wanted to see. Now, you don't want to see the matchup.
There was only one reason I wanted to see it. I told you, and I first guessed this going into the series. It was all, to me, about a guy whose overall impact is overrated, Damian Lillard. I keep waiting to see it, and I don't see it. Do you realize now Damian Lillard has come up even smaller than he plays, at about 6 feet tall? In his last 3 playoff appearances, he has gotten swept by the Pelicans, and he got swept by a Golden State without Kevin Durant, and he should have been swept by the King and his minions in this first-round playoff series, because they're not an 8 seed. They're like an 88 seed. That's what they are, and it's because that guy is not that guy, Cap T, Cap G, that you say he is.
He is.
You say special, and I'm saying Damian Lillard, where is his transcendent impact on the game? I'm going to give you this. He is the greatest athlete rapper ever. There's nobody close to him. I give you that. He is not a good interview. He is a great interview. He can just spill his soul in an interview, and I love that about him. But in overall, and by the way, he is the sweetest, purest, smoothest shooter of long-distance threes I've ever seen. It's just effortless for him. It's really pretty to watch.
I just want to make sure
But in overall impact, I got to see it. Do you realize he didn't make his first basket last night? It was a 3, but he didn't make it. We could see it if you want to. Guess what the score is now? They're down 24. This is his first basket of the night. They're down 24. That was sweet. I love that. You're down 24. The game's already over, and you finally scored a basket.
If you don't mind me asking,
what is happening here?
So, in other words, if a player isn't transcendent, regardless of the sport, that means he's not any good.
I'm not saying he's not any good. You just told me he was special, and you put that cap, S-U-P-E-R, in front of his name.
Yes.
All caps,
yes.
superstar. And I'm saying he's a star. I'll give you star, but super?
Skip.
Show me.
Skip, hold on, wait a minute.
Whew.
You can be special. You can be a superstar without being transcendent. Every superstar isn't transcendent. That term belongs to a very few players. Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Kobe, hold on. You make it seem like, well, he's a superstar. He must be transcendent. No, Will, those are very few guys that have been transcendent. But hold on, Jenny, if you don't mind me asking, Jenny, can you re-ask the question? What'd you ask me?
You want to re-ask the question?
Yes, I want you to re-ask me.
What was the most impressive part of that game last night?
Well, how the hell we going back to Saturday night? How we going back to game 1, Skip? Can we talk about last night?
I didn't wear a goat mask. You did. I'm shooting at the goat mask. I'm showing you how silly it is to put any stock in what you just saw. What happened last night should have happened in game 1. It did happen in game 2. It did happen in game 3.
Yes.
It should have been over last night.
No,
you know it, and I know
I don't.
And you're over there chest beating like LeBron is. You're like a chip off the block.
Yeah.
You know, like father, like son.
What about that virtuoso?
Yeah.
Tell me that wasn't a virtuoso.
Against what?
A playoff
Against
team.
an 88th seed? That's what they felt like last night.
No.
They're just pathetic. They're the worst. You just admitted it. They're the worst defensive team.
Yep.
And wait a second. I got to get this out off my chest. LeBron James last night. So they're up 30 points, and he comes down and shoots a LeBron logo 3.
LeBron.
He shoots it from Cape Canaveral. If we could see this. And then what does he do? What does he have the audacity to do after he makes it? He goes up court.
Yes. Yes.
I did that. We're up 33 on the 88th seed. What are you doing?
Whoa.
It's just
Hold on,
crazy.
Skip, let me ask you a question. So what was he doing to help them get up 30? I just want to know, what was he doing? Did you see what he did in the first half? Did you see the first
it
quarter?
was special.
Okay.
It was spectacular.
Okay, acknowledge it.
Let's see, last night was Monday night. It was Saturday night. I had to watch him make his last 3. Remember this? He makes his last 3, and he goes up court. This is the logo 3. Could we see the one from Saturday night? I just got to see it one more time. Okay, here he goes. LeBron, and he makes his last 3, and that puts the score. They're now up 14 points, and he goes down the court like he just won the NBA championship, mean-mugging the Trailblazers.
Hold on.
He's giving them one of these.
Hold on, Skip. But can I ask you a question?
I got you.
Skip.
I got you, 88 seed.
The first game, you said he didn't close the deal. In the third game, the third game, he closed the deal. Now you got a problem with what he did.
They all closed the deal.
No.
Anthony closed the deal.
Okay.
I call him all done in a lot of fourth quarters, but he came to play.
I'm talking about LeBron on Saturday night.
Yeah, he was great.
So he was dealing.
Yeah.
So now you got a problem because he closed the deal with what he was doing in the process of closing the deal. So,
I have no respect for the Portland Trailblazers, and I tried to. I told you going into this, Damian Lillard, since he has entered the league, I told you that he has the worst playoff winning percentage of any player in all of basketball. He has the second worst plus-minus since he entered the league in the postseason. And I told you against Golden State last year, he had 4 straight fourth quarters. The games were teetering. They were winnable going after 3 quarters, all 4 fourth quarters with no Kevin Durant. So it's just 2 guards versus 2 guards, basically.
Right.
And talk about coming up small. He shot 29% from 3 in those fourth quarters and 31% from the field. And he hasn't been much better in the fourth quarter, the 3 fourth quarters that he's played against the Lakers. And I'm saying, just show me. Just do it one time.
So can I ask you a question? In Michael Jordan's first 5 years of the league, what was his win percentage?
What does it matter?
Because of what you're trying to do, you're doing it.
What was his winning percentage in his last 10 years in the league? I mean, it's just absurd. Are you putting Damian Lillard and Michael Jordan?
Wait a second, Skip. So let's see what Dame Lillard's win percentage is his last 10 years. I'm saying Michael Jordan because he got swept twice, he won 1 game, and he won 2 right. So I just want to know, so what was his win percentage? Because what you do is that if you don't win the title, you want people to believe that if you don't win a title, you're a bum. And that's not true.
Okay, I just told you. What's Damian been in the league now? Are we up to almost 10 years? Are we?
I don't think
he's been around.
He came in with AD, so what, 2012?
No, he's before that.
No, he came in with AD because remember he was Rookie of the Year because AD got hurt.
I guess so.
Yeah. So what, 2012? So 2012 was his draft?
7, 8 years, whatever.
Yeah.
But the point is, he's been around a long time. You have proclaimed him a superstar, and you've called him special.
Yes.
And I'm saying this isn't all his fault that he's a minus 43 in the postseason. But if he's transcendent, if he's a superstar, he's in that special top echelon,
Yes.
you got to be better than this. I just keep waiting for one game where he just takes it over and closes it, and it doesn't happen. So they're dangerously dependent upon their 2 guards who just sort of come and go, because if you're going to shoot threes, they're going to come and they're going to go. The Lakers' threes, they came and they went, and then they came back. And you better be careful, because last night you might have used up some you might need against Houston if, in fact, Houston's going to prevail.
We'll worry about Houston when we get there. But Skip, here's the thing, what I don't understand with you. See, because what you're doing here, you're trying to undermine Dame. If he wins...
I'm not trying to undermine it. I'm just saying, show me.
Let me finish. If he wins, you're going to say, well, AD and LeBron is not what they say. What he loses to AD and LeBron, which is the superior team, and you use that against him.
I called it. I called it going in. I told you and Chris Broussard, you're both completely off base. This is a mismatch.
Okay, but here's the thing. If it's a mismatch, how are you using that against him if it's a mismatch?
Because I've never seen it from him before, so I called it first. I just said, no, he's not going to rise and shine. He's not going to cause you any problem. He's going to be 0 threat to you, and in the end, he was 0 threat to you.
No, Skip, but my thing is, if it's a mismatch, like you said, like 85, 86, Bulls, Celtics was a mismatch.
It wasn't a mismatch. My God, it went to overtime in game 1. Michael Jordan made 2 free throws. He made 2 free throws to get him to overtime.
What about the miss?
They called him, what was it, God in sneakers?
Hold on, wait a minute. He missed a shot like Kawhi that would have won the game in the first overtime, right?
All right. He's playing one of the all-time greatest teams ever.
Okay.
Well, so
all I'm saying.
Are you saying that Michael Jordan, that we're overrating him?
No.
Is that what you're trying to say? How can we put Damian Lillard? I'm ashamed we're putting Damian Lillard in the same conversation with Michael Jordan.
Because what I want people to understand, if you're one guy and you're trying to go up against a team, that's what I keep telling you. You're like, LeBron James, you can't win a game. But LeBron James is going against a team. KD, Steph, Clay, Draymond.
Got it.
But you don't use that. But see, you don't give LeBron that, but you gave it to Jordan going against the Celtics. Okay. And they said the 2018 and 19 Warriors, 17, 18 Warriors were the greatest team assembled.
He broke his leg. Jordan broke his leg that year and came back for the last couple of regular season games and said, I want to go. And they said, no, you can't go. Just take off the playoffs. No, I'm playing. And I want to play against the greatest Celtics team in the history of the Boston Celtics. That team was the greatest team ever.
Yes.
Wow.
But guess what? They said the 2017-18 Golden State Warriors was the greatest championship team ever assembled. But you don't give Bron the benefit like you gave Jordan for playing the Celtics. This is my only point.
You told me he's the GOAT. He's better than Jordan. Wow. Okay. Well, so you say that? You should hold his feet to the fire.
So are you holding Jordan's feet to the fire?
For which?
He the GOAT. He got to be able to beat the big 3 Celtics.
Once he broke through, I think he broke through like no one's ever broken through.
No, he didn't break through.
Can you argue with 6-0 with 6 MVPs in the finals?
He didn't break through. Larry Bird broke his back. Kevin McHale broke his ankles. That's what broke through. Robert Parrish got old. That's what happened. Dennis Johnson got old. Will you tell the truth? Will you tell the story in its entirety? Stop making it pretend like Larry Bird was 25 when Jordan beat him.
Okay, but they got a little older.
A little?
I'll give you that. But this guy just took over the whole league and dominated it in ways LeBron has never dominated. LeBron, help me out. He's 3-6 in the finals?
Skip, hold on.
Yikes.
Larry Bird dominated the league. Yeah. Larry Bird was winning MVP when Jordan, Magic, all those guys were in their prime. He got 3 straight, something Michael Jordan never did. And they were going to the finals. Because think about it. they were going to the finals every single year, meeting up with the Lakers. So that added years, just like what we saw with the Golden State Warriors, how it took its toll on them, all those finals.
Okay.
That's what the Celtics and Lakers were doing in the 80s.
Okay, all I know is that 2 straight days against that competition, you've worn the GOAT.
Yeah,
claiming he's the GOAT.
Go,
that he
man,
deserved it because these were all-time impressive performances.
Were
against
they not?
What?
Were they not?
What did we just see from the Brooklyn Nets? Could you help me out on this? Have you been watching the other side of the bracket?
Yes.
They just played Toronto, and they got swept in 4 straight games by an average score of 21 points. 21.
Well, you're going to get swept if your bench can score 100 points.
Okay.
Toronto's bench scored 100 points. When have you ever seen a bench score 100 points, Skip?
It took Portland to the last drop to overcome Brooklyn just to barely squeeze in the back door and get in the play-in game. Remember that?
Yes.
Games, if it was going to be plural.
Right.
But it came down to the last shot against Brooklyn, Portland against Brooklyn, and CJ made a nice defensive stop, I thought, on Karis LeVert, who had been virtually unstoppable, and he back-ironed a jump shot that if it goes in, Portland's not in the tournament.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So that's how close Portland came to being out. And that's when I said, no, this is just a cuddly little overrated underdog. That's what they are.
We've seen that happen sometimes. A team sneaks into the playoffs and calls. Now, we don't see it as much in basketball because you're playing series, or baseball because you're playing series and you have to win 4 games. But we've seen a lot of football teams, Skip, sneak into the playoffs, and because you only have to win 1 game, a team has gotten hot the last 2 games of the season, they sneak into the playoffs and they end up winning the whole thing. Well, you're not going to see that as much in a sport like a basketball or baseball because you have to play a series. And normally, more times than not, the better team, you're not going to get a game-winning shot. You're not going to make 2 free throws at the end of the game to win a series more times than not. More times, the better team will win because you have to win 4 games. But to try to dismiss what you witnessed last night, to try and dismiss what you witnessed Wednesday night, don't do that.
I am dismissing and discounting. I am saying, stop it. I'm putting 0 stock in what I saw last night. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for them. They feel much better about themselves.
We did not feel good about ourselves.
It is a mirage what happened last night. I don't know if they have mirages in Florida, but this was a mirage.
So let me ask you a question. So are the Lakers not any good?
No, they're pretty good, but they haven't played a real team, and I can't wait until they run headlong into the Clippers, and then we'll see how real they are.
So why didn't, if you don't mind me asking, why haven't the Clippers swept the Mavericks? Because they're the 7th seed. It's not like the Mavericks are the 1 seed.
What did I predict? What did I predict? I called it up front. I called it. I said this will go 7.
The
Mavericks were simply the highest-rated offensive team in the history of basketball.
And they're still the 7th seed. And they're still the 7th seed. With that great all-time rating, they're a 7th seed. Why haven't the Clippers, with 2 All-Stars, with 2 potential MVPs, why haven't they swept? And Porzingis didn't play, and he got thrown out another game in the 3rd quarter. So why haven't they swept?
Because they have now played a grand total of 15 games together. Their roster's been together 15 times in, 76 games?
Hold on. When you got that, hold on. How many games did
You're lucky.
If you don't mind me asking.
I told you this was going to be their fire test. And it's going to go to the wire, probably go to the wire in Game 7. But I believe they're going to survive because they are the mentally toughest team in this league. Oh, I can.
Didn't they have a 16-point lead in Game 1?
Yeah.
Didn't they have a 21-point lead on Sunday?
Yeah.
So how many tough guys?
Guess what? They were down 12 in the 4th quarter on Sunday, and they scratched and clawed back into that game.
You don't get credit for coming back in the 4th quarter and losing.
They outscored Luka down the stretch 10-2 in the last 3 minutes.
Skip, they lost. You don't get, Skip, you do not get credit.
They're coming for you.
Coming for who?
For you.
They need to worry about
coming
Luka.
For that mask.
They're
coming for it. I want to see how many. You know what? You should go ahead and wear it. Wear it again because they're actually going to have. They should call off this series. They should just say it's over, ended, and say asterisk embarrassment for both teams.
You ought to be ashamed.
They should call this series off. And the point is that now the playoffs start for the Lakers. And you should wear that after, what's the next one? Game 5? We're actually going to have a game 5.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, God.
I mean, and Dame got hurt. We'll have to see what.
So please wear that after game 5.
So let me guess.
Because LeBron's going to go for like 40, 20, and 10.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You don't believe Dame hurt his knee, do you?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You do.
Looked like he tweaked it. He tried to come back and play.
Right.
Wow.
So what you going to say, now he's not hurt?
Well, he's off the hook now. He's off the hook.
I can't believe you, Skip.
Our friend Chris Haynes, he tweeted out that Dame is going to get a second MRI today on that right knee. So really, his status is unclear right now. So keep that in mind.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.